Testing, testing. Alright, the system absolute safe works with the principle provided with the space intervals. Most stations of the Indian Railways work on principle following or essential features of the automatic absolute block system. No train is allowed to leave the station and permission to approach that has received the advance of the block station. Double lines of permission to approach that is not given until the line is clear. Not only the first stop signal in the next station, but also the adequate distance beyond it. On single line, permission to approach is not given until the following conditions are satisfied. Line is clear. The train is running in the same direction. Not only the first stop signal in the next section, but also adequate distance beyond it. 4 or 2, line is clear. Trains running in the opposite direction. D, when trains running in the same direction, the same track, the permission to approach should not be given in the second train until the entire length of the first train within the limits of the home signal on the status for all the signals beyond the first train have been restored, and line clears not only up to the first stop signal in station, but also the adequate distance beyond it. Automatic block station. In special interval systems, clearing a long block section is protracted event. Subsequent trains has to wait until the preceding train clears the entire block. The impair of the capacity of the section regardless of the number of the trains to clear the time. In order to accommodate more stations and sections, the block section is divided into smaller automatic blocks. The particular with the turn of the section long enough have the turn into bottlenecks. Section of the automatic block system on the double line is followed. The line has been provided with a continuous track. Circle the line is between two adjacent block stations when required to be divided with a series. No automatic block signal sections. Entry into each of which will govern the stops signal. The track circuit should control the stop signal, governing the entry into the automatic block signal section following manner. Signal should not be assumed the off position unless the line is clear with the advance not only with the next signal, but also the adequate distance beyond. The signal should run on turn only as soon as the train passes. 319 interlocking. The interlock device system means that it ensure the safety of the trains while they increase the number of the point signal introduction. The high speed of the highs become necessary to eliminate human error. Otherwise leads to a massive loss of life and property. The points or signals are set in such a way that the cabin man cannot lower the signal in the reception of the train unless the corresponding points have been set to lock, and the signals are interlocked with the points of the way and non-conflicting point as possible and safe and sure, interlocking can therefore define arrangement signal and point of the apparatus interlock with the connection interconnected between the means of the mechanical electrical locking with can be operated predetermined sequences to ensure that there is no conflicting movements of the signal and point of the train run safe. The signal interlocking system is designed so that the failure of the equipment results in turning on the signal, ensuring that they are train safety. 3191 level frames and other apparatus provided with the operation control signal with the points that must be interlocked arranged to comply with the following essential regulations. Should not be permissible to turn off the signal off unless all the points of the line with the turn is received in a correct set with the face pointing on the locked and interlocked locking leveling crossing closed inaccessible road traffic. The line should be fully isolated before the signal is turned, and no loose of the wagon should enter the line. After the signal has been turned, should not be possible to make an adjustment point of lock on the routes, including the isolated line. Also, no interlock gate should be released and the signal replaced on the opposition. It should not be possible to turn any signal off at any same time. This can lead to conflicting movements of the train. Where feasible, the points should be interlocked to avoid conflicting movement. 3192 standard. The successful speed of the train depends on the nature of the factors such as the haulage capacity of the locomotive, the fitness of the track, the fitness of the rolling stock, the load of the train, the speed of the particular section determined based on all the factors depending on the maximum speed permitted in the section. Station interlocking, keeping the prevalence to standard. The signal equipment and other facilities provided with accordingly the four standards interlocking based maximum permissible speed prevailing on any railroad therefore refers to speed over the main line with respect to the facing of the points of the yard. Table 3111 and stipulations laid down in the Indian Railway signals, isolation, pointing, interlocking arrangement. The details each of the interlocking standards are enumerated in 3112. Alright, signals. The number of type of signals. Isolation, the standard isolation main line, other passenger lines, no trains coming out for the main line due to human errors. Points, the type of the points fitting to be for the main line, other passenger lines. Interlocking arrangement, the type of interlocking required. 3193. Basically, two-method interlocking experience below. A key interlocking simplest method interval interlocking still exists in branching lines, small station Indian railways. Method involved the manipulation of the keys in one of the or other interlocking types normally provided with the standard one interlocking with a speed limit of 50 kilometers an hour. Simplest arrangement key interlocking is accomplished in the following manner. Take the example of the station main line, branch line, and the point that can be either by the main line or branch line. The point of the two keys, the first key A, which can be taken out with the point set locked on the main line, similar B key can be taken out with the point is locked up in the loop line. Any time the key in A and B can be taken out depending on whether the route is set for the main line or loop line. C. The level frame operating with the signal provided with the the level concerning the mainline signal can be operated only with key A. Similar to the branch line signal lever can only be operated by key B. If the train receiver of the mainline points at the set lock, the mainline key A is released. The key is used unlocking the mainline signal lever. The lower signal for the mainline signal key can be not be used in interlocking lowering the branch line. The signal only an appropriate signal can be turned off. The type of the interlocking is called indirect locking. In most cases, one point of the operated with the key released with the first point of the unlock is operated with the second point and so on. The key release of the last point, but then be used with the unlocking lever and operating signal interlocking, also known as succession blocking. Also used with the checking the conflicting movements of the shutting operation. The other methods of the interlocking help keep all the involved the considerable length of the trip, the point and signal lever from the point to point, thereby leading to delays. Such arrangement are thereby satisfactory only if the stations handle with very light traffics. Alright, mechanical interlocking. Mechanical interlocking with the level frames improved from the interlocking compared to the key locking. They provide with greater safety required less for the manpower operation method. The interlocking is due to the plunger and tie bar. The plungers are generally made with steel sections measured in 30 centimeters by 1.6 centimeters and notches in them. The tie bars are placed in the right angle with the plungers to provide with the suitable shape of the riveted piece of the cast iron steel that fit exactly the notches of the tappets. The main component of the interlocking system, the locking frame, point of the fitting of the signal, fitting of the connection device, the connection with the local frame of the point of the signal fittings. Locking frame consists of a number of levels, which were various points. At the point locks, the signal lever, the levers are arranged together with a row in a frame. Point of the lever operates the point in which they connect the steel rod. Similar putting on the single lever to the chain with an indication of the signal by locking on the wire, cutting on the level of the signal. To each lever is attached the plunger and suitable shaped notches to accommodate the locking tab. The entire arrangement provided with the locking through the tappets, provided with the right angles and plungers. When the lever is pulled with the cuff of the plunger in which the connected move due to the wedge action, the tappet accommodated the notch and the plunger is pushed out of the right angle to move the plunger. The motion of it is transmitted to all other tappets for the connected to the tappet of this tie bar. As a result, the motion of the tappets either get pushed out into or out of the respective notches. Other plungers depending on the type of the interlocking provided. In this case, the tappet is free with the speed slips inside the notch of the other plunger. It locks the lever to connected with the plunger. In consequence, the other lever gets locked in position, cannot be operated. However, the tappet was early positioned in the notch plunger, thereby locking the lever. Now of the notch and the other level becomes free and operated. 3194. Different cases. The following cases of interlocking encountered in practical application. Normal locking. In this case, pulling one over the lever locks the other level in normal position. Back locking and release locking. In this case, when the lever is normal position, all the blocks are other than the lever in its normal position. When the lever is pulled, it releases the outer lever. Which can then be pulled. Further, once the second lever is pulled, the first lever gets locked in pulled position. It cannot be returned to normal position until the second lever is restored in normal position. Both while locking. In this case, once the lever locks its other levers in current position, normal pulled position. Special condition locking. In this case, pulling one of the lever locks or the lever only with a certain condition fulfilled. Say the third level beginning with a normal bold position. In this case, mechanical interlocking points the signal of a two-way railway station. To understand mechanical interlocking, the points the signal of a two-way line railway station. Let's cave the typical railway station in both the main line and loop line provided with the home signal 1 operated with the lever 1 for the main line. Home signal 2 operated with the lever 2 and point 3 of the main line. Lever 3 with the normal position for the loop line, which is lever 3 pulled. It is pulled in position lever 4 locks point 3 in either position normal or reversed by the plunger face point in the locking position essential for the interlocking system in figure 3121. Figure 3121 interlocking point signal two-way rail division. Levers 1, 2, 3, 4 mainline signal liner, loop line, front lever facing point lever, tappet A, tappet F, tappet B, tappet C, tappet E, tappet D, tie bar, plungers, facing point, loop line, main line. Should not be possible to turn off the pole signals 1 and 2 at the same time. The train should be received at either main line or loop line at any given time. To achieve the tappet that is forward for the plunger of lever 1. Lever 1 is pulled. The tappet enters the notch of plunger. Level 2 cannot move until the lever 1 is pulled. Prevents the lever 2 from getting pulled from when lever 1 is pulled. The reverse situation is true. It should not be possible to turn a signal off until less the point set with the locks or efforts made to pull either level 1 or level 2. Some cannot be pulled. This is because of the following reasons. Tablet B and Tablet C are riveted to the tab or that turns the connected with the Tablet D. Since Tablet D is buttoning against the face of the plunger of lever 4, Tablet B and C cannot be moved. The plunger can move only when lever 4 is pulled, thereby bringing the notch of the plunger opposite Tablet D. Once this happens, it is not possible to restore the position of lever 4 with the tie until the lever 1 and level 2 brought with the normal position. In the case of the releasing block, lever 1 and level 2 release and the pulling lever when it turns the lock points. See, lever 4 is the lock lock points 3 in either position. Same can be visualized in Tablet E. Similar to the mainline home line, signal lever cannot be pulled in level 3. It is pulled if it sets the loop line. Tablet F cannot be pushed, which allows lever 1 to be pulled into the notch plunger of the level 3. With the lines opposite tablet F that should be shifted from position due to the pulling of the lever 3. Normally, lever 1 can be pulled conveniently simultaneously, resulting in locking lever number 2 in normal position in tablet A. This example indicates the proper planning with the possible mechanical interlocking movement of points and signals, ensuring complete safety. Alright, 3196, electrical interlocking points in signal two-way relay station. Electrical interlocking is achieved with electrical switches known as relays. The manipulation of relays achieving the interlocking where the lever locks are attached to the levers, placing the plungers, additional plungers, preventing levers getting pulled and allowing it to be pulled normally interlocking permits. Relays using simple electromagnetism where both soft iron core wrapped inside wire coils into electromagnetic when current is passed through the wire. Armature attached with the electromagnet has a number of the finger contacts to come in contact with each other on the armature is attached to the magnet and break the contact of the armature is not attached to it. The whole system is housed in glass or metal box, also known as a relay. 31110, modern signal installation. Advanced electrical engineering electronics have greatly contributed to modern signal installation, leading better to safely increasing speed, quicker movements, move with the train, sudden modern stops, installation described below. Panel interlocking. All points and signals are operated electronically from the center location switch operation. These points are mounted on the panel, which are bearing the diagram of the yard layout. Electronical locking and interlocking the points and signals achieved the means wherewith the main advantage of the point interlocking the various functions of all of the points and signals. Even the same core with a great distance can be certainly controlled, thereby eliminating the need for the multiple cabin operation of the cab of the same one. Elimination of the inter-cabin control sliding at the time. Normally, lots of consideration save line capacity, increase the greater number of the trains can be run in the smaller operation staff. Your route relay interlocking. The route relay interlocking is improvement over the all panel interlocking. Unlike panel interlocking, which in each point of the route is to be individually set with the respective switch, where the clearance of the signal obtained with the operating signal switch of the route relay interlocks involve the use of only paired switches to perform all these operations automatically. Using the paired switch of the desired route with the train automatically pull all the points along the route in their desired portions. This is required then cleared all automatically too. During the operation is also certain that there is no conflict movement of the train progress in the offing, and also the route is clear for the movement of the train, including the overlap. Once the essential requirements for this entire yard has been circuited, the condition of the track circuit, the various indications of all the signs and routes are mirrored on the panel that carries the diagram of the yard. By looking at these indications, the panel operator can easily discern the portion of the clear to occupy which the signal is cleared for the movement of the train. One route is set allowed with the passenger train. Relevant portion of the damage on the panel is get eliminated with lights. Lights of the turn red track is occupied by the train. The train is clearly on the track. With the lights go off, the route relay interlocking with a very useful busy yard and busy suburban section transit density, very heavy route relay interlock yards fully circuited and ensure complete safety regarding the movement of the traffic. Alright, centralized train control. Operation of all points, signal variant station sections centralized in one place in the system. That's through all the points and signals controlled by the signal office, called the centralized train control operator. The centralized train control operator virtually takes all the work of the station master. Several individual stations operates all the point signal stations, signal at stations for that remote control. The centralized train controller panel normally provides with the central location continuous various stations. The distance about 120 kilometers on either side. Separate panels provide operators with to depict the entire station section, including the points crossing levels of signal routes. Points operated with the panel being separate now, but the panels also depict the various tracks and occupied otherwise. Your centralized traffic control system panel interlocking provides all the station which incur the complete safety. The centralized traffic control operator sends commands the station equipment to forward the code electrical pulse, pressing the relevant button. The station can receive these commands, set the points for the desired position, clear the appropriate signal. If the task is completed, indication signals automatically set by the central traffic control panel to perform the code of electrical pulses, position points of the signal are indicated the panel, and the route of the interlocking system. The instruction regarding the running of the trains for arrangement with the crossing, etc. Also issued by the controlling office over the phone calls by the various station masters. Actual control of the movement of the trains between station exercised by the station master. The central traffic control system also functions. Controller station masters are carried out by the central control traffic operator, who is always in position at all trains. The section through the illuminated panel with a remote operator various signals points of all the stations. How he or she can then make judges regarding how the train will move forward. They will cause either move or the automatic block system always adopted with the conjunction of the centralized traffic control, with the result of the number and block sections that can be increased. The major advantage of the central traffic control is enumerated below. The considerable saving the amount of time taken to complete with the running of the switch line capacity section increased in fact that the introduction of central traffic control need necessarily double the blanking overlook. No train station master appointments are required at various stations. The central traffic control operator does all the work for the central panel. There is a considerable reduction in the number of skilled staff members required. The system also has a potential type of defect. It has the potential to detect any defects on the track. Automatic warning system. Amount of safety features that incorporate with signal interlocking equipment will be no use if the driver ignores the danger signal. The warning as an automatic warning is the device triggered the automatic application if the signal indicator danger of the driver has not taken any action. System of the consistent the track located with the desirable braking system. The rear end of the first stop signal. The tracking device activated signal indicates danger. Is then effective. The signal is clear when the locomotive passes over the track. The device and signal indicates the line ahead is clear. Nothing happens. However, the signal happens to indicate the danger. A red lamp gets lit as the locomotive passes over the bell, followed by a ringing alarm bell. If the driver passes the acknowledgement button applied with the brakes and the alarm stops ringing, no further action is taken. The alarm automatic warning system. If on the other hand no action is taken by the driver, the bell continues to ring. The emergency brakes are applied automatically if the train is brought to a stop. Last vehicle check device. One important feature of the absolute block system: the train should not be allowed to enter the block section unless the last train has arrived at the station. From either end of the block section, they must be verified operator responsible for the operating block instrument. Observing the last vehicle board, last vehicle itself, light, and observed that it has been observed that quite few cases of the operator has been found with a careless certifying last vehicle. The eliminating human error device known as the last vehicle check has been developed. Consisting of passive equipment, the guard hangs over the last vehicle of the train. Each station is provided with the corresponding activity that emits the wave of the predetermined frequency. The equipment is fitted at the entrance of each station. The coupling of the instrument takes place whenever the last vehicle passes the active equipment, which is sensed by the last vehicle check device, or the operator receives an indication saying, and now clears the block instrument, and then issues a fresh line, clear the vehicle. Then the last vehicle checks the device eliminates human error, ensuring the safe arrival of the complete train. Or your summary. Signals are used to regulate the movement of the trains, interlocking, ensure the working of the signals. How many different kinds of signals? Each one of them give the vital information regarding track condition. The signals have separate indicators day and night. First, methods of the interlocking, starting simple key method, automatic train control system with an advancement signal as well as the interlocking system. It becomes possible to run trains smaller intervals and ensure optimum use of the track capacity. Chapter 32, Modernization of Railways and High-Speed Trains.